Hello everyone, welcome to SI UK webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are now live with University of Liverpool. We have Dave with us. He will be taking us through this webinar. We'll try to answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start the webinar. Over to you, Dave.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining today. Hope today's going to be a really useful day for you. And yeah, hopefully Liverpool might be the right option for you when you're looking for your postgraduate study this January. So let's have a quick look at what we'll be talking about today. So we're going to explore student life here in Liverpool and all of the programs that are available for a January 2025 start. So we'll start by having an introduction to the city of Liverpool and what it's like to live here, and we'll also talk about the university itself. We're going to take a look at all of the different programs we have on offer with a January 2025 start, including the entry requirements and the application deadlines. We'll then have a look at the scholarship opportunities that are available for all of these programs. And most importantly, I'm joined today by two of our current postgraduate taught students. So that's Annika and Harshida. So they're going to tell you a bit about their experience and what they've enjoyed about Liverpool and reasons why you should consider this as a place to study. At the end of the presentation, that's when we'll have a more general Q&A with everyone who's on the call. So feel free to put your questions into the chat as the presentation goes on, but we will be waiting until the end of the presentation to answer any of those questions. So first things first, I always like to start off with where Liverpool is. You may have heard of it before, you may not. So hopefully this handy map of the UK will give you a good idea of where we're located. So we are up in the northwest coast of England. Liverpool may seem fairly northern, but it's important to know that it's quite central and very accessible as a location. It's easy to travel to, it's easy to travel to the rest of the UK, and that's something that I think is really important. So, for example, to get to London from Liverpool, it's only a 2-hour direct train journey. Similarly, we do have two international airports that are close by. So that's Manchester Airport, usually has global flights from around the world. That's only an hour away from Liverpool. And we also have Liverpool John Lennon Airport too. So this is about 20 minutes outside of the city. And it's typically European flights, though there are currently global connections via Frankfurt. So important to know, Liverpool is really easy to get in and out of. So I love to show this picture of the city and of the campus to give you an idea about the type of place that Liverpool is. So you can see up in the top right of the screen there in the green circle that is our university campus. So everything within that green circle is university owned. So it's the guaranteed accommodation, it's the lecture theatres, it's the labs, and it's everything that you'll need in your day-to-day time as a student. It's really distinctive when you are on campus. But in my opinion, one of the best things about Liverpool is that this campus is in the city centre. So you're only about a 10 to 15-minute walk at the most from the main section of the city. So it's the great cliche of it's the best of both worlds. A proper campus experience, but you are in an incredible city as well. Liverpool is a big city by its population, but by the city centre size, it's actually quite compact. So, again, one of my favourite things about living here is that as a student, you will rarely need to use public transport. You can walk everywhere. So, one of my least favourite things to do is stand in the queue for a bus or a train. And the fact that you can walk everywhere here around the city really makes a big difference for me. I feel like you get to know the city that you're living in, and you really get a lot more value out of the experience that you have here. So, if you're interested in that sort of everything's on your doorstep type of life, then Liverpool might be a great opportunity for you. So, let's have a quick look at the city itself. So it is a fantastic city. We've been around for about 800 years, and in my opinion, things are getting better and better. So it is a fantastic city for its heritage, for its history. There's a lot of music, sport, and culture. So we do have two Premier League football teams, and the football here is a very important part of the city. You may know of the Beatles, potentially, well, definitely the most famous musical act from Liverpool, but perhaps the world as well. So a lot of fantastic things happening in the city. Importantly, Liverpool is one of the lowest cost of living cities in the UK. So it's a really good place if you're looking for value for money. That's both with, for example, accommodation prices, but also just general day-to-day living. When you're doing your shopping, when you're going to the restaurants or the cinema, it's always a bit cheaper in Liverpool. So we do have more museums and galleries than anywhere else in the UK outside of the London area. So if you're into your culture and perhaps history, it's a really interesting place to visit. We are often voted as one of the best nightlife destinations in the UK as well. So if you want to fire up TripAdvisor, you'll be able to see that Liverpool's right at the top of the list, and it's a really exciting social scene. And as we mentioned on the previous slide, it is a really easy location to travel both to the rest of the UK and onto mainland Europe as well, if you wanted to have any trips away or for any visiting back home, perhaps. So the next slide, we're going to take a look at the university as a whole, and we'll look at why Liverpool. So we are a very unique institution. We're very proud of who we are and the way that we fit into the world, both in sort of the local region, as well as how we try and be involved in sort of wider global development. So importantly for Liverpool, we do have a great global ranking in all of the league tables. We're currently ranked 160th in the Times Higher Education Global Rankings, and we're currently 165th in the QS 2025 rankings too. So this is actually a 25 place increase in the QS rankings since 2023. And it's important to note that of the Russell Group universities, Liverpool is one of the few that has risen in the last couple of years, whereas a number of other of our fellow competitors may have lost a few places. So really good strides for the university and something that we're very keen to keep building upon. So we are a Russell Group, as I just mentioned. So this is the group of research-intensive universities in the UK. So what this means for you as a student is that you will get, well, firstly, a fantastic academic experience. All of the academics that we have are, at the forefront of their subjects, and you really get that bit of an edge in the experience you get in your teaching. We do have some fantastic awards and accreditations. Most importantly, in the classroom is the TEF Gold Award, which is the Teaching Excellence Framework. So this is the highest standard that you can get. So fantastic that the university was awarded that. And importantly, for any students who are interested in the management school, we do have the world-leading triple accreditation, which there are only 1% of universities in the world who hold that. We have a great history over almost the last 150 years, and you may have heard the term red brick thrown around. You can see on the top left photo there, that is where the term red brick comes from, the original red brick building and the original red brick university, which were when in the sort of mid 1900s, when various universities or various institutions around the UK were granted autonomy. And that term stems from the building on campus in Liverpool. And so we'll chat next just a bit about the campus, about accommodation, and some of the services available. So the campus itself, as we mentioned, is a 10 to 15-minute walk from the city centre, incredibly easy to get around, but it does have the benefit of being a very distinctive campus itself. You can tell you're there for your academic purposes, and I think it's really useful to be able to separate your academic part of your studying and time in a city to the social side. So having that distinction is really useful to have. The university is often going through redevelopment and investment, so great to know that it's not just buildings from 50 or 60 years ago. They're trying to keep things modern and keep things fresh for you. And we do have a lot of modern things like the sports centre, our Guild of Students, and really fantastic buildings across campus, including two 24-hour libraries. I know when I was a student, I was definitely the person who made use of that nighttime services in the library. Probably a weird sleeping pattern, but if that's you as well, then you can definitely make use of that. And we have a lot of cafes, there's restaurants, there's shops nearby the campus, so a really interesting place to be. The accommodation as well is actually award winning. They seem to be winning awards every other year or so. So, really fantastic opportunities available for you if you did want to stay on campus. And as a new student, you are guaranteed accommodation, whether that is the university owned accommodation, the majority of which is right on campus, or in university approved accommodation, which is usually very close by to the campus as well. So if you want that option of being able to be right in the thick of things, then it is guaranteed. So we do have a lot of brilliant services available at the university as well. So that is with our award-winning career service, which I'll touch on a bit more in the next slide. But we also have specialist support for our international students. That's through our international advice and guidance team. There are a whole host of things from academic support, mental health support, financial support. This is all available to you from day one, and most of these services are simply a drop-in service. So you are able to make use of these whenever is useful for you. We do also have our Liverpool Guild of Students. So this is where the sort of social side of the university is taking place. We have over 200 student groups, whether these are societies, whether they're clubs, whether they're sports teams. So these are really good ways to get involved on campus, and especially our master's students as well. It's really fun to get involved with. And so just to touch on the careers and employability. So we do have one of the most successful and impactful careers team of any university in the UK. So just a few interesting stats here that 83% of our students achieve a first class or a 2-1 degree with their undergraduate study. So again, that just kind of shows that academic strength of a Russell Group university. And then 95% of our graduates are in employment or further study for 15 months after graduation. So you know that if you have a degree from Liverpool, it's really going to be an asset when you're searching for careers and searching for a job post graduation. We're actually one of the top 25 universities that are sought after by global companies. And on screen there, you can just see a list of some of the recent companies that recent graduates have gone on to work in. So that can be from Google, there's Coca-Cola, there's PwC, Deloitte, a whole range of these well-known companies that have been looking for Liverpool students. So a really great range there. And if you are graduating from Liverpool, there will be a lot of good opportunities. Hopefully, will open some doors for you. So I did want to highlight as well that for international students, we have our International Plus program. So this is specifically for international students to develop your career skills and offer some tailored support that is a little bit different to the career service that might be available to students who are from the UK, for example. We have a great career studio with career coaches and digital coaches. They can help with your CV and resume writing, with job applications, and they'll try and advise you on the best ways to approach applications and where to find different types of either part-time working jobs or for jobs that might benefit you in the future, like interning, or where to look for your career pathway. So we do have excellent connections as well. For example, we do have good connections with Liverpool Football Club. They host career events every now and again, and the university is very proactive in trying to find those opportunities for you. So for the next part of the presentation, we will talk about, I guess, the reason why everyone is here. So our January postgraduate talk programs. I will start with our science and engineering programs. So the engineering department within the university has a really fantastic reputation. And it's important to know that when you study one of these programs, you're not sort of limited to the area that you're studying, the cohort and the class that you're with. You do have a lot of opportunities to engage with students from other subject areas, whether that is in the digital space or data or maths or management. There's a lot of cohesion across all the departments. I think this really opens up your opportunities really post graduation. So I won't read all of these programs read them out loud, sorry, but I will highlight that there is the advanced mechanical engineering as well as the mechanical engineering with management. The deadline for both of these programs is the 17th of November, so just a couple of weeks away. For the rest of these programs, there is a 13th of December deadline. And for the start date for all programs, it is the 27th of January. So you will need to be physically in Liverpool by that date. All programs listed on the screen will require a 2-2 undergraduate degree or equivalent if you have studied in a different country. You would need an IELTS grade of a 6.5 overall with nothing below a 6. For the data science and artificial intelligence program at the bottom there, it's just important to note that they do ask for a 2-2 as well, but this has to be from a non-computer science related subject. So if you've already studied something computer science related, this isn't the right program for you. The IELTS for this program is a 6.5 with nothing below a 5.5. So moving on to our health and life sciences and the allied health professions and nursing. So we really have a fantastic history at Liverpool of healthcare education. And these programs have all been developed by recognizing where there have been skill gaps within the NHS. So everything here is going to be for an area that there is active demand for and will be an active pathway to a career within healthcare. Similarly, I won't read through all of these just to bore you, but please have a scan. And I will point out there that physiotherapy has a deadline of the 30th of November. So that's the only early deadline for the allied health programs. The rest are the standard deadline of the 13th of December. So yeah, well, I guess it's about a month to go until the 30th of November, the 13th of December, 5 to 6 weeks. So you've definitely got some time. So all of these programs, again, will be asking for a 2-2 as an undergraduate degree entry requirement. This is except for the physiotherapy program. So typically, they would be looking for a 2-1. However, if you do have recent either relevant work experience or you've already done some type of further study, then they would encourage applications if you have a 2-2. So definitely one to consider, but typically you're looking for a 2-2 for the entry requirements. The IELTS grade that you would need for any of these programs would be a 7 overall, with nothing below a 6.5. As a part of the application, you'll be writing a 700-word personal statement, and if the application is deemed a good submission, then you will be invited to an interview, which will take place via Zoom. It's from that Zoom interview where you would be hopefully offered a successful place on the program. So a little bit of a process there. And of course, this information is all available on the website as well. So lastly, let's have a look at the management school programs. So starting off there, we have the marketing, the Masters of Science, as well as the Master in Management too. So both of these programs, you're going to be looking for a 2-2 for your undergraduate program. You're going to need an IELTS of a 6.5 overall with nothing below a 6. We do have 2 MBA programs available as well for a January start. These are a little bit different. So typically you would need to have an undergraduate degree of a 2-1. And this is in addition to having 3 or more years of substantial managerial experience. However, if you don't have a degree or if you have a classification that's lower than a 2-1, so this would be a 2-2 or a third, then you're still encouraged to apply if you have 5 or more years of substantial managerial experience, as well as a record of achievement in business and leadership. So this is things like accredited training programs and evidence of learning and development. For both of these programs, it's the same IELTS requirement, so 6.5 overall, nothing below a 6. And for both of the MBA programs, there is an informal interview as well. So this would be after you apply. Again, if your application is appreciated by the department, they will reach out to you and ask for this informal interview. The 4 of these programs, again, are a 13th of December deadline, with the January 27th start date in the new year. So on the next slide, probably one that a lot of people will be quite interested in is the scholarships that we have on offer at the university, which will be eligible for the programs we've just discussed. So the first of these is our Postgraduate Global Advancement Scholarship. This can be a discount of up to £5,000 off of your tuition fees for the program. This is actually split into two sections. So the first is up to £2,500, and this is if you've achieved a first class degree at your undergraduate level of study. So if you've achieved a first class program, you'll be offered this £2,500. For the second half, this is based on nationality. So we have a wide range of nationalities that this is available for. I didn't want to put the list on the screen because it would have taken up the whole thing. However, if you can scan the QR code that's on screen, then you will go straight through to the page and you'll be able to see if your nationality is listed, for the majority of which it will be. So feel free to scan there. So £2,500 based on nationality, and another £2,500 based on your undergraduate degree classification. So hopefully you may be eligible for £5,000 total. Importantly, you don't need to apply for this. It is just automatically applied if you meet the criteria. And that's all taken care of by our admissions department. So when you apply, we'll be able to see your nationality and we'll be able to see the grades that you previously achieved. There are two other scholarships that I did want to highlight. So this is our University of Liverpool Management School. So it's the Excellence Scholarship as well as the MBA Scholarship. So the first there is for postgraduate taught programs within the business school, and this can be up to a 50% discount on tuition fees. Similarly, for the MBA programs, this can range from a 75% discount in tuition to 50% to a 30% discount. Both of these scholarships are competitive. So there is sort of an application process that is judged as you submit your general application. And we encourage students to apply early if you are interested in securing one of these scholarships. Essentially, it's not so much a first come, first served process, but they do start allocating the scholarships from the beginning of the application cycle. So if you are interested in these, they are limited. So we'd encourage you to apply as soon as possible. And hopefully there would be one of these scholarships available for you. Again, you can see the full details of this by scanning the QR code. So one thing that I did want to highlight as well is the welcome and support that we have available once you arrive on campus in Liverpool. So typically in the UK, most students typically start to join around the September time, and there's a range of sort of social activities to help settle you in. At Liverpool, we do also do this in the January. So when you arrive in Liverpool in January, it's easy to settle in. You're able to have a lot of opportunities to meet new people, to find your feet, and the university is really supportive in this. So I wanted to touch on a few of those things on offer. So the first is what we would call our Refreshers Fair. So this is run by a Guild of Students. It's a great way to see what's available on campus with societies, with clubs, with networking events, and hopefully there would be something that's of interest to you. So it's great that it's run in the first week of January once you've arrived on campus, and a great opportunity to start meeting new people and an easy way to start your social life in Liverpool. We'll also be running campus tours, easy to find your way around the campus, and there are usually city tours available as well. So if you haven't quite had the chance to explore the city, then there will be opportunities there for you too. Number 3 is our Get Ready program. So this is something that we run before you arrive in Liverpool. It's probably going to be starting either late November or early December. So this is for anyone who has already applied, and we'll take you through a bunch of different topics, ranging from what to pack, what's fun to do in Liverpool, what are the services available on campus, and we'll probably be having one with item number 7, the International Advice and Guidance Team. We'll be able to answer any visa-related questions or anything a bit more complicated. So it's great that we have that all on offer, and I'll be starting, within the next month or so. We do have a Meet the Teams session as well. So as we've been discussing, there are a lot of different support services available in the university, and you might not know exactly what's what or what you need. This is a great way to find out exactly what's on offer, to meet the people who are there and running these services, and to know how to make use of these if you need them. Within the first few weeks of the semester as well, we will be running a part-time jobs fair. So this is for both if you are looking for part-time study during your program. It might be opportunities to start networking. Sometimes there are internships on offer. So a really great thing to be able to look at from within the first few weeks. And that's run by our careers team. We do have some great social activities as well. So typically, this is run by our Guild of Students as well as our Halls of Residence teams as well. So there are a lot of different social things to do, whether that is city tours, it could be going to explore some of the nightlife in the city, as well as going on field trips and day trips around both the northwest of the UK. Sometimes I know that there are opportunities to visit, for example, the Welsh mountain range. You could go into the Lake District. You could go up the coast on the beach. So, some really fun and interesting ways to meet new people and to see the area that you're living in. And lastly, our international advice and guidance team will be running a series of sessions within the first week of the semester. So, this is from things as simple as an introduction to British culture, it could be about living in Liverpool on a budget, or more serious topics like working in the UK and navigating visa requirements. So, the whole, I guess, point of this slide really is to let you know that when you arrive, there is a whole host of support that's available for you. So on our next slide, we will be chatting to our ambassadors. So I'm going to start with Annika. So once the slide loads, there we go. So if I can please invite Annika, there we go, you're taking your microphone off. So if you'd like to give us a quick introduction to yourself, and then I have a few questions that will hopefully be of interest to the audience.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. So, hi everyone, I'm Anaka. So, I'm from India and I just finished my master's in international business at the University of Liverpool Management School. So, today I would like to highlight my experiences of studying in Liverpool, especially as an international student. And I'll cover some highlights of my program, Life on Campus, and what makes Liverpool such a fantastic place to study as well as live. So, the reason why I chose the University of Liverpool is for its strong academic reputation and the practical industry focused, the international business program, which I had done. So, we have a really vibrant international community here at the university and a really supportive environment, which indeed made it an ideal place for personal as well as professional growth. And the faculties here are experienced, well experienced, and they bring real world insights into each course. And the curriculum combines theory as well as practical sessions like case studies, group projects, field trips, and interactive sessions that apply learning to real world scenarios. So, studying alongside peers from diverse backgrounds has indeed expanded my perspective, making the experience even richer. And the university is also dedicated to supporting the international students in many ways. So, as Dave mentioned earlier, we have a fantastic careers and employability cell here, and it has been really valuable for me. And it helped me prepare for the life after graduation, offering everything like CV preparation, interview preparation, workshops, etc. So, additionally, the university provides excellent student support services as well, mentioned by Dave earlier, including the mental health resources, international advice and guidance, specifically focused on helping students to navigate their travel and everything and adjusting the culture here in Liverpool. The team has especially been helpful with issues related to visas and settling in the life in the UK, which indeed makes the transition much smoother. And I was part of the management school, so I really benefited from a program called ULMS Extra. So it offered additional training and networking as well as career workshops. And this initiative indeed helped me a lot to build my skills and grow my professional networking skills as well and career workshops. So this initiative was really a good one to help me connect with like minded peoples as well as employers here in Liverpool. So, about the campus life and engagement, I would say it is both dynamic as well as inclusive here. The university offers top-notch facilities and faculties and a beautiful blend of traditional and modern architecture. So we have like three campuses, including the North, Central, and the South campus. So from the North campus, it's towards the traditional architecture, and when we come towards the South, you can see the really modern architecture as well. And we have over 200 of clubs and societies as part of the Liverpool Student Union called the Guild of Students, along with numerous campus events happening like every time in the year, networking sessions as well as other activities. And I think these opportunities encourage teamwork and collaboration while allowing us to connect with students who share our own interests that is like-minded. And the university also hosts cultural events and festivals as part of these societies. So it really gives us a chance to celebrate our heritage and learn about others. And the campus life is really vibrant and it feels like a second home indeed. So I've really enjoyed my time here in Liverpool. Next slide, please. So, about my life here in Liverpool. So, Liverpool itself is a really wonderful place to live. It is a quite small city compared to big cities like London, Birmingham, and Manchester, but it is really student friendly, the city that's both affordable and safe. And the city is rich in history and culture with a lot of famous spots like for music as well as sports, especially football. And this is a coastal area, so Liverpool offers beautiful waterfront views from the Albert Dock, scenic parks like the Sefton Park, with museums, cathedrals, historic sites, all within easy reach. So everything is quite near to the campus, and the city center is just a 10 to 15-minute walk, making it convenient for us to reach out to anything and everything. And talking about the nightlife here, it is really fantastic with a range of restaurants, cafes, and venues to explore. So we have all types of international cuisines as well. So I find it to be a perfect city for students because it is lively but also offers peaceful spots to relax and study. So I think that's all about my experience.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for that. Yeah, great to hear always of a positive experience. And you mentioned as well, so you are sadly coming towards the end of your time at Liverpool. Do you have any plans for what happens next? Just so I guess people on the call can get an idea of what might be coming up.
So, about my idea post graduation, I think the careers service at the university has been a fantastic resource for me. So, they've helped me improve my CV and practice interview techniques, which I'm doing right now. And it provided general career guidance as well for me regarding the employers. All the career events that happened as part of the career studio really helped me get a lot of part time jobs during my time here as a student. And I'm looking forward to applying to a lot of jobs, which I'm doing right now, and attending interviews. So, through all these events conducted by the university, as well as workshops and one on one sessions, it has really prepared me for the job market, I would say. And as of post graduation, I'm aiming to work in a business environment, possibly in marketing. So I think the university's career resources have definitely given me the confidence and skills to start the journey.
That's great. Well, yeah, well, best of luck in finding the right opportunities for you. And maybe that might be staying in Liverpool. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll have to see. So fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your experience there. So
Thank
we'll
you.
next, thanks, yeah. So we'll next move on to our second of our ambassadors today, which is Harshada. So let me just flick on to the next slide and invite you to give a quick introduction of yourself and yeah, to hear your thoughts on your experience.
Thank you, Dev. I am Harshita Kanandi. I am originally from Mumbai, India. I have already completed my bachelor's and master's in commerce from India, and I thought I need to specialize in a field of my liking. So I decided to move to Liverpool to do my MSc in operations and supply chain management. One of the reasons why I chose to study at University of Liverpool is because of how different the entire program was in comparison to the other universities that I was applying to. Just for example, a few of the electives like lean thinking and how to use softwares and ERP systems were really uh, specialized and more industry focused, which the universities weren't offering. So that I knew that would give me an edge over other people in the career market, right? So that's one of the reasons why I chose Liverpool. And as anyone should, I researched a lot about the university that I'm going to, the place that I'll be living at. And Liverpool just seemed like a dream because all I could read about while doing my Google searches was how friendly the people are, how inviting everyone is, and how walkable the city is. So those were the factors which were really important for me to move to a country and move to a city. So that just made the entire transition coming from India make really easy for me. So that's one of the reasons why I chose Liverpool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
No, are there any questions regarding the slide, or I could just walk them through?
Yeah, if you're happy to just chat through through your experiences and what you'd like to share, that'd be perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, so in my slide, I've kind of made it into two sections really. So on the left, I've put more of the academic things that I did throughout my year. So in the beginning of the year, I got this amazing opportunity to be part of an Airbus project management challenge because I'm from the management school. We always got these opportunities where you could enhance your skills and network with people because obviously you're coming from a different country. You don't know how to put your foot right in the industry. So these were great experiences for us to network with people to gain more experience in the UK market. So the Airbus Project Management Challenge was a way for me to learn more and just to experiment and gain experience. So what we did was we were invited to Airbus and we had to make a presentation with our team on how we can use AI in project management. And that was a great learning experience for all of us. And it was a competition. So you win or lose, you're always going to learn, right? Then moving forward, the University of Liverpool Management School, they have their yearly Weekend Work It Out challenge, which is a great way for you to learn what a consultant does in their day-to-day life. So it's a 4 week challenge. You're put together in a team. You are given a particular project. You will do it for a company. So I worked for a local courier company in Liverpool, and we had to introduce new services for them. So my team and I, we worked really hard. We were given all the opportunities, like what are the softwares that a consultant would use? What's the way that they would make their presentation? They even got on board a really renowned consultant who worked at big consulting firms, and he helped us with how you should make your presentation, what you should research, how to do the research. And that was just a great learning curve of if in case you want to become a consultant or work in similar roles, how you would go about it. So that was a great experience for me. Along with that, we had a lot of um, sessions which would help you enhance your own skills. So one of those was the networking class with Dr. Seuss. She's amazing. I think networking is such a big part of your career because no matter where you go, you always have to network with people. And it's very awkward to be in a room full of people and not know what to talk or how to approach people. So I think that class just helped me learn how to network with people, how to talk, and how to put your best skills forward in just a span of 30 seconds. Um, and there's also a great picture of us doing a documentary in which Annika is also there. So we got this amazing opportunity through um, International Student Ambassador that we could be part of this documentary that they did on Indian students living in Liverpool. So that again added something to my profile. And on the right side, I've highlighted a bit more of my social life. So there's a picture of my flatmates and I celebrating Diwali in our flat. So again, that's a great experience for me to uh, learn more about other cultures, to show my culture to my flatmates, and all of my flatmates were, some of them were international students, some were Indians. So that's a great way to bond and make friends. Then again, as Anaga and Dave have highlighted, Liverpool is a vibrant city. So I've also put a picture of my favorite restaurant, which is Elif on Wall Street. Great food. Another, I lived on student accommodations. I lived in Wine Court. which is great. It's really close to the management school. It's right behind management school. So in 3 minutes, I could go to any class. So that's a picture of me and my flatmates just posing in a flat. And as I've said, Liverpool is a very vibrant city, very friendly, very walkable. And every time I've I've had free time, I've gone to the docks. So docks is one of my favorite areas. Lots of food options. Anytime, just scroll around, walk, and it's a great time to spend time with your friends and just I don't know, be happy. That's it.
Perfect. Well, thank you again so much for sharing all of that. And yeah, the docks is probably my favorite part of the city as well. So yeah, a lot of great areas to explore for any student who will be joining us in January. It's just interesting that you touched a bit on sort of networking and how that was sort of built into the program, or there were opportunities for you. Because I think the thing that, most people are aware of are that there are a lot of different programs you can choose from to get a degree. However, at the end of the time when you graduate, everyone has that degree. So it's what else have you been doing that I think employers are really looking for. And it's great to hear that at Liverpool you've had those opportunities to, network, to meet new people, to get some industry connections. So fantastic about that, and also really interesting to hear about the Airbus challenge, and from the business school backgrounds that you've had, how they've incorporated a modern element in AI to be a part of that. So yeah, really interesting to hear about that.
Thank you.
Perfect. Great. Well, if anyone does have any specific questions for either of our fantastic ambassadors, if you please want to put those into the chat on Zoom, and we will come to them at the end of the presentation, which will likely just be in a couple of minutes. So thank you again to both of you for that. That was great. So one thing I just wanted to highlight was that if you haven't been to Liverpool and you want to know a bit more about it, we do have some fantastic social media channels to take a look at things. The majority of content that we post on here is from current students at the university, so you get a very authentic view at what it's like to be a student here. I'd very much recommend checking the Instagram channel. It's the most visual and it's the nicest to look at, perhaps. But there's a lot on there if you wanted to see the proper perspective. Following that, if you are in the UK or if you're overseas and you have the means to travel to the UK, we do love to welcome you to our campus. So if you wanted to book a campus tour, you'd be able to be shown around by an existing student, and they'll share their experience. They'll show you all of the best spots on campus. And I think it's really important, if you do have the chance to do this, that you try and do it if you can. It makes such a big difference to visit a place, and you get a feel for it and if it's right for you. So if you were interested in doing that, then you can scan the QR code on the screen. Our team will pick up the inquiry form that you fill out, and we'll be able to get you booked in. Usually as well, you're able to talk to a colleague like myself or someone in our wider international recruitment team, so we can answer any other questions that you may have, perhaps about the application side of things or the academic related side. But a fantastic opportunity if you're in the UK in particular and you have the chance to visit the campus. And that oh, sorry, someone's microphone's not quite muted there. So that essentially wraps us up for the presentation, though. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined today. So on my screen, I can currently just see the presentation. So I'm just going to pull up the chat that we have on Zoom and see if we can run through any of the questions. So I'll start from the top and then we'll make our way down. So there's one here from a student from South Africa. Great. So we did discuss about scholarships a few slides back. So I'd like to find out. Yes, so for our January entry, we don't have any architecture programs on offer. However, we do in the September intake, of which the scholarships page will be able to show you exactly what programs are eligible for the scholarships. So I'd recommend, if you want to watch the recording back when our colleagues at SIUK have posted this, then you will be able to see the correct way, the correct page for the scholarships and find out about those. So another one from a student about scholarships for postgraduate and dentistry studies. So again, dentistry studies isn't on offer in January, but it will be in September. However, for most most clinical programs in the UK, so dentistry, medicine, for example, it's quite rare to find scholarships available for these programs. So just to be aware of that, that we will have these on offer from September, but it's unlikely that there would be a scholarship. And that's probably similar advice for other universities in the UK as well. So a question of what is the process of doing your Masters for Psychology from a different country? So again, that's not something that we have on offer for the January entry, but there might be something in the September. I'm not entirely sure if we do offer an online program. I know that some universities might have this on offer. So if that's what you're interested in, I guess colleagues at SI UK would probably be able to point you in the right direction of universities to do that. So one more about the design studies and scholarships, which we have touched on. Interior designing. So unfortunately, Liverpool doesn't have any interior designing programs. Does this university offer a degree in business analyst? So we did discuss some of the management school programs. For business analytics in particular, we have a sort of wider range of programs available in the September, whereas the programs we discussed today for a January start would be more specific for, it was the MBA, it was marketing, and the Masters in Management. But if you're looking for the analytics side, I'd recommend taking a look through the programs we have available for the September start. So there's repeated questions that we've just answered. And it looks like someone may have put in their qualifications, which unfortunately today is not quite the right program to discuss that. Perfect. So actually a great comment here from one of our ambassadors, Hashada. So Hashada did actually receive the ULMS Excellence Scholarship. So yeah, it'd be fantastic if you'd like to share your experience with receiving that scholarship. What went into the process? Was there an application, or did the management school kind of take the reins and direct you with it? Thank you.
So I did make sure that I knew about the scholarship. So as like every other student, you do want to get it. So the one thing that I would recommend is putting in your application really early. I think that is something that really helped me, and making sure that your application gives a very holistic approach, because that's how the admission team looks at your application. They want to see that you've excelled in all the parts of your career and how strong of an application you can make. I think that would really help you getting the scholarship. So there's no separate application form for the scholarship. You just have to apply for your course, and they will look after the application, like your entire application, and then they'll make a decision to give you the scholarship or not. And I remember after I got my offer letter, I think in the next week or two, I got the scholarship as well. So it's a great scholarship. It covers 50% of your tuition fee, which is a very big discount. And in general, I think everybody should aim for it. And I don't think it's very difficult to get it. Just make sure that your application is put together really well.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's great to hear about that. And also, I guess, well done on receiving that scholarship in the previous cycle. So yeah, hopefully made a big difference to your time in Liverpool as well. So yes, that's great. So again, I think someone might not have muted their microphone. There we go. I think it's just been muted. Thank you. So one question here about IELTS online, if it's the same as doing it sort of at a test center. So yes, so the IELTS online is the same content for the program. It just depends on where you take the test. So if you do it at a test center, it sometimes takes a little bit longer to arrange. And I believe that now that we do have the option at Liverpool to be taking the online version of the test. So you'd be able to do this from the comfort of your own home. But yeah, important to know that it will be available for Liverpool, but the ins and outs of the details, I suppose, would be available on the IELTS website itself. So yes, the English testing would be obligatory, as someone has asked. So this is for all students who are applying from a non-English speaking country. So this is a list on the UK government's website on UK visas and immigrations. I believe there are 13 countries that would be considered English speaking. If this isn't one of your countries, then you would need some form of English language test. So whether that is the IELTS, we also have things available like the Pearson's test, the Duolingo. However, for our allied health programs, they do require the IELTS in particular. It has to be that program. So yeah, please double check about your program. But again, that is if something that either colleagues like myself can answer in more detail if you were to email in, and colleagues at SR UK might be able to help you with your application as well. So another question there about sharing the scholarships that are available for January programs. So I will be able to pop that in the chat after the presentation ends, if that's okay. As I mentioned before, on my screen, I'm currently just on the presentation, so currently don't have the means to get on that website, but I can pop that in the chat following the end of the presentation. So that actually wraps us up for the end of everything. I just want to take this chance to, I guess, ask both of our ambassadors today if there was anything that before you applied to Liverpool, do you wish that you knew, or is there something that now you've been here for just over a year, would you like to tell anyone about, and things that might be useful both for the application process, for finding the right fit of a university? Yeah, any words of wisdom from either of you?
I would say if you're looking for the opportunities here, the university provides tons of opportunities, both for networking as well as like extracurricular activities. So my top tip would be to utilize all the opportunities that is given by the university and keep a proper balance between your academics as well as your personal life. So in case if you need help, feel free to reach out. There are plenty of support services offered by the university for that as well. So just consider it to be your second home and just grab all the opportunities that are coming by, and be proactive and be outgoing. That's my top tip.
Great advice, definitely. Sorry to put you on the spot, Hashada. Do you have anything to add?
I think Anaga wrote it really well, but also what I like to say is that with any university, I would say that please go to the program that you're interested in and read through the modules. I've read the modules, I think 100 times even before applying for the universities, and that's one of the reasons why I chose Liverpool, is because how industry specialized the modules are, and you can really compare them with the other universities you want to apply to. So do that for yourself, and also just take the opportunity to move abroad. It's a great opportunity to learn something and to really enhance your skills and take that chance. I think that's what I did, and I'm really enjoying my time here in Liverpool as well. And because there were so many questions about scholarships, I'd also like to add that do support your application with all the work experience that you've gained throughout the years, even if those are internships or the extracurriculars that you did at school, and get references from your workplace, from your college. I think those things will really help to make your application strong, and that's something that the university is looking forward to. So I think Liverpool is a great city to start your life in and to have a great academic career. There are so many opportunities that the university will provide, and they've always been so supportive of everything that you do. And as Dave has said, like there are 2 libraries which are open 24/7. I've been just like you. I don't like to study in the morning, so you can see me during exam season at 3 a.m. in the library. So that's a fantastic thing that the library is open 24/7. So make use of all the resources on campus if you move here. And yeah, Liverpool is a great city. Do consider it.
Perfect. Thank you both so much for sharing your experiences again. And yeah, some final thoughts there. So that really does bring us to the end of the presentation today. So if you would like a bit more information about joining Liverpool from January 2025, you are able to scan the QR code on screen there, and that should hopefully bring up all of the information that you need. So there will be, opportunities via the website to talk to colleagues like myself, as well as the follow-up comms that you will receive from colleagues at SIUK, who are able to help you with your application and to answer some of the questions that you might not be sure of. So I will stop sharing the screen now, and I guess we will turn our cameras off. But thank you again for joining today. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to find out about Liverpool, and hopefully that answered a lot of the questions that you need. Final point, I will post the scholarships link into the chat in just a minute. And then that will be it for today. So thank you again, everyone. I hope you've had a good day, and yeah, hope to see you in Liverpool from January 2025. Thanks, and see you later.
Thank you so much, Dave, for giving us this insightful presentation and answering all the questions so well. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And for any more question, you can directly contact the SIUK office. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.